Good morning. Welcome to the Light of Deception. Today we're going to continue in our talk on the many isms related to deception. I always like to recap. There's already some videos out there covering socialism, Marxism, communism, Gnosticism, and mysticism, the definitions of meditation. And we're going to continue. And today we're going to be talking about the Buddhism and Hinduism. And I'm just going to, right now, I'm just giving definitions. I'm going to bring everything together after the whole entire series together in how all these isms relate to deception. And there obviously is going to be some isms out there that would play a different part. So we'll get to that eventually. But right now, we're just going to be covering mysticism and the many isms under mysticism, occultism. And then we'll get back to globalism. There we go. The definition of Buddhism. Buddhism, religion and philosophy that developed from the teachings of Buddha, a teacher who lived in northern India between the mid-6th and mid-4th centuries, spreading from India to Central and Southeast Asia, China, Korea, and Japan. Buddhism has played a central role in the spiritual, cultural, and social life of Asia, and during the 20th century, it spread to the West. Ancient Buddhism, scripture and doctrine, developed in several closely related literary languages of ancient India. And we're going to go ahead, and that was taken by Britannica. There's a little bit more here. The existence is not of a God, but rather the existence of oneself. Mysticism in Buddhism is defined differently from other forms of mysticism. Rather than getting realizations of the higher being or power, such as God, Buddhist mysticism is focused on contemplation, ideas, perceptives, and lack of all that. And just one more thing. Guide to Buddhism, a tradition of personal spiritual development, including meditation, philosophy, ethics, different Eastern and Western strands of Buddhism, and famous Buddhist figures. Okay, so that covers Buddhism. We're going to get into the definition of Hinduism. Here's our next one under the isms related to deception. Hinduism's major world religion originated on the Indian subcontinent and comprising several and varied systems of philosophy, belief, and ritual. Although the name Hinduism is relatively new, having been coined by the British writer in the first decades of the 19th century. It refers to a rich, cumulative tradition of text and practices, some which date to the 2nd millennium BCE or possibly earlier. If the Indus Valley civilization was the earliest source of these traditions. As some scholars hold, the Hinduism is the oldest living religion on earth. Its many sacred texts in Sanskrit and vernacular languages serves as a vehicle for spreading the religion to other parts of the world. Though rituals and the visual and performing arts also played a significant role in its transmissions. From about the 14th century CE, Hinduism had a dominant presence in Southeast Asia, one that would last for more than 1,000 years. Hinduism, mysticism. One of the major trends of India religion philosophy is mysticism. This trend can be misleading, however. The term mystic is derived from the Greek noun mist, which originally designated an initiated of a sacred cult or mystery religion. So that covers the two isms under Buddhism and mysticism related to Hinduism. We're going to put all these isms under this religious practices and put them all together as a whole, and we're going to be talking about how they're coming into the Christian faith, going back to ancient Gnosticism, a knowledge religion, and how it has gone through into, even though Hinduism is one of the first religions out there, how it came into the church and has stayed there all these years in some fashion, in some way. So it's kind of like getting in touch with the divine by going in and tapping into your inner God or your inner child type of visualization practices. We'll talk about that. We're going to be talking about what they call as a New Age spirituality, or just new spirituality. They drop out the New Age type of language, but it's all still the same thing. And we're going to take all these isms and paint a whole picture by the end of the series. So here is the end, actually the end of Hinduism and Buddhism for now. And then we're going to go, next time we come together, we're going to be talking about the Catholicism, we're going to be talking about Mormonism, and we'll probably take two at a time. And I hope all these isms that we're going through here on the site, you can find all this at thelightofdeception.com under mysticism or deception, and you'll see like all the different links that are related to these isms. And I hope all this helps you stay out of the light of deception. Thank you. Until next time.